All right, welcome everybody. So when you're ready, just take a moment and we're just going to close down through our eyes. If you'd like, you could lay down onto your back and just giving yourself a moment to, as always, just relax the body and to open up. And just to quiet down our thoughts for a second as we take the time to let gravity do its job. Let it bring you into the ground, into the far corners of your shoulders, really melting out, widening and opening up from our heart centers. Wiggle it out, let yourself find that space, the hips grounding nice and wide. Again, grounding us into the support here. Palms open. Breath. And as the thoughts come, let them go. Just be here. Feel as you let go, both physically and mentally, to your day, how you might resist it. Maybe it becomes easier. Take a nice good breath and just a little bit of a sway of the head. Just a soft wiggle of the fingers to the toes. It's like we're starting our day again. So we're waking ourselves up from that stillness, from that opening, from that presence. And we're just creating that time to be as if we wanted to be when we wake up in the morning. From there, nice and slow, let's start to bring our feet up. As your feet drop onto your mat, maybe adding more length to the lower back, feeling that rooting of your feet nice and wide as your knees come together. Finding the distance that just feels natural. Don't let your knees be popping out. Don't tuck your feet up. I'm not looking for much here. Just be. We'll leave the elbows there. Just lift up the hands. Give those wrists a nice little roll. Maybe move around those fingers. Maybe into a fist and open. Work with it. Let it happen. Feel that up into the forearms. From there, maybe a little shake out. Open up your knees. And then just add a little bit of movement there. Maybe drop your arms down again if you want. Just feeling our hips and our lower back, creating a bit of separation here. Sometimes while we root down into that lower back, and it almost feels like it's solid. When you're ready, go back up to the center. Again, just encouraging the lower belly to drop into your body and bring one knee up and get more into that lower back as the other knee comes up. Now reach in between your legs down for your ankles and then just holding on. Let the arms relax down. Let the knees and the legs kind of flop away from you here. Deep breath. Maybe allowing more of a tug from the legs so you can feel it up into your shoulders. Maybe you're really focusing on those inner thighs. Relax for a moment. Are you squeezing into those legs at all? A deep breath. From there, just kind of pull the knees in towards you so you can bring your arms now around and then just lightly holding on to the legs. Just massage out your back. Feel the heaviness of the body kind of bringing you down. If you want more, maybe add a little chin tuck. Just kind of presses those muscles out. Add more of your body weight. From here, just let one of the arms drop you to the side so that you can roll comfortably. And then waiting for an inhale, let's bring ourselves up. Once you're up, push yourself back. Of course, stay on your mat. It's always a little nicer. You can nice with a gentle little shake from here. Once you're ready, find your sitting bones. Try not to move the cushion, just simply sitting up a little taller, maybe a little tuck in our belly there. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our right leg up towards us. We're going to tuck that in, then drop that knee out to the side. Now, see how it lays inside your thigh. So we're going to open our hip. So let that right hip move back. So now we've opened up, and we're going to slide that heel so it's maybe a little bit more into the alignment of our groin. You could use your block, especially if you're noticing that you're kind of moving your weight up into your shin. If you put a block underneath your knee, it'll help to keep you more open. So I'm going to use a pillow. I haven't found my blocks yet. So from there, I want to make sure, can I feel both of those hips kind of grounding down? When you're ready, let's take a nice good breath. We're going to add a little stretch. So let's start to lift up through the arms, pressing through those sitting bones. Take a deep breath, looking up. When you're ready, we're going to very slowly start to hinge forward. At any point, bring your arms down whenever you feel ready. As you guide down with the chest, remember, we wanted to stay grounded. So have you lost your sitting bones? Maybe push a little back with those hands. Relax the shoulders, deep breath. Feel that space. When you're ready again, tuck your belly button in, use your hands. We want to reach up, so just a little more extension out of the torso. Let the shoulders roll back. And then we're going to open into a nice stretch. So slide your left hand over towards your knee. And then open your sternum. So let's add a little bit of that rotation. We're going to try to turn the heart towards that knee. When you're ready, then let's bring the right arm up. So an inhale, stretching the ribs from our hips so we can feel that separation through the side. Now as we ground down, we're going to start to reach over. Now as you go over, you might notice that that left shoulder is crowding your ear. Let your arm slide down a little bit instead. Don't keep fighting with that. What we're trying to do here is open up our chest. So let's look towards the sky a little more. Can you keep the shoulders a little relaxed, rounding down, and then opening through that whole line over top. Bending your shoulder, place that heavy hand on your head here. It'll help to support. So pulling our belly button in, maybe even pushing a little bit, pulling on the knee. What helps to get you back up tall? Now bring that hand down so it's right beside your hips. Move your block out of the way if you were using one, because we're going to see if you'd like to come up onto that knee. We're going to lift that left arm up again. Now push your hips forward as we reach out with that left toe. Push to the sky. Press to the mat. Deep breath. Pushing our pelvis forward. Then bring it back. Sit down onto the bum. Perfect. And then let that body kind of turn into the center. Maybe relax the shoulders. And then let's bring that leg in. When you're ready, just turn your hips so that it's facing your front leg again. Then we're just going to give it a little shake. From there, then we're going to switch it out. So drawing that leg nice and long. Just going to turn around, make it a little easier. So then once that left leg long, our left leg tucks in rather, draw in. Let's root that knee to the side. Then tuck in. Sit in tall. What do we feel here? Then we're going to open that hip. So that bent knee side, we're going to pull that hip back so we feel we lengthen to the inner thigh. Then we'll pull that heel in, seeing about getting a little bit more of this, again, almost half splits. Maybe you're using your block, opening, keeping that weight grounded back in one aggravator knee. So as we get that connection, sit up tall. Relax those shoulders down. Let's root into the ground. Do you feel like you're wanting to come forward? Maybe you got to soften a little more. Feel this push from your energy. Let's go with it. Inhale as you're ready. So pushing through that leg, stretching through that torso. Start to lean forward. But can we feel the hinge? So we want to make sure that we don't want to bring our hips with us. We're going to move out of the hips as we come down. Shifting. Deep breath. Relax those shoulders. Hold that belly button in and hands as well as a nice extra support. Come up taller. Just soften your shoulders again. So stay ground back from there. Then we're going to add that nice side stretch. So we'll bring that right hand over towards the knee. Even if you don't plan on keeping it there, it's still good to add that little bit of a rotation. Don't force it to go centered. It wants to be halfway there. That's where it is today. So again, are we grounded into both of those sitting bones? Inhale, stretching that left side waist. Let's go up. And then as you start to drop over, again, don't fight with your hand on your knee. Let it slide down if you'd rather. Reach. Keeping that extending down through that hip. Let's see about looking up a touch. Remember, you can always support your hand on your head. Deep breath. So pulling the belly in, that way then we come up strong and lengthened. We're going to place that hand right beside the hip so the fingers are pointing out and really spread out onto your mat. Move the block out of the way if you were using one, and then we're going to push up onto that shin, but reach out of your toes, lift and push those hips up and back. Reach. Push those hips forward, lift up through the heart, reaching out of the body. It's called wild things, so let it be crazy a little. Let's sit back down and release to your center. And like before, let's bring that leg up, turn in, and shake out. Now, just to give our back that kind of reset, we're going to just stretch our legs forward. We're just going to do a nice movement stretch. So once again, now we're going to sit up nice and tall into those sitting bones, but place your hands in front. That way then we can pull the belly button in, maybe just a tiny extra lift of our sternum. And that way then as you're ready, exhale, start to slide forward. And once you get to there, try to reach from the head instead of that chin. Keeping the back flat as we want to extend it out. Deep breath. Softness in our knees. It's not flattening down to our mats. Pull that belly button in. Let's use our hands. Draw up, thinking tall. Relax the shoulders down from the ears. One more time. Just a little lift at the sternum. And slide forward. Reach from the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders. Deep breath in. Once again, belly in. Such a great habit to get into is using the core. Relax the shoulders down. Now let's get our legs back around. So when you're ready, swing them around. Let's go into our table position. So just take an over to knee, add a little movement there. A little push of the hips. Maybe look over the shoulder. Just lengthen out and touch. That way then as you're ready, get back to the center. Relax the neck as well. And then we're going to come up into our gate pose. So we're going to pop up on top of our knees. And then from there, turn on your mat. So whichever direction is easiest to see. And then go to one end of the mat. Preferably so that you can kick your right leg out to the side. So if you're at the left side of your mat, that way then we can all go on the side. I don't get any more mixed up with my lesson rights than I do naturally. So when you're ready, bring that right leg out to the side And then from here, we want to look down. We want to be right on top of that supported knee. And that foot is back and it's nice and flat behind us. Our hips are grounded. Now we want them to be forward towards the front. And we're going to turn our toes so they point straight out with that leg. So we don't want to turn forward. We want to extend. Now, if you're feeling a lot of pressure throughout that leg, that's where I would recommend keeping your block underneath your foot. And it just takes some of the pressure off the ankle if you're experiencing that, or the shin, or whichever area there. And that also allows us to have a little more focus on keeping our hip forward. So we're going to constantly be pushing that right hip forward and towards the front, because it's going to naturally want to bend back and work inner thigh here. So we're going to push forward. Deep breath, reach those arms out strong. So our gait, so we can feel how we kind of hold those kneecaps up. We stretched out with those arms. Now we're going to reach towards that side. So when you're ready to stretch over to the right, yes. Keep pushing that right hip forward. Let's go up. If you're interested in a little more, let the arm extend over. Again, can we get that hip just one more kick under? Point out through those toes. Get that press. And then a nice good deep breath. Come on back up. Stretch it out to the side. Reach. When you're ready, now we're going to start to lean down. So as you come down, bring that hand to the ground. And then see the lifting that leg up. Keep pushing that hip forward. Reaching out. And then let's go back to it. Lower. Point your toes away. Keep pushing that hip forward. Slide it down, up, maybe over a little bit. Don't aggravate your shoulders today. Turning our palm towards the floor will also help to keep that shoulder a little more protected. And let's go back to one more time into that nice opened, rooted down, lifted leg gait. Push that hip forward. Press it out. Reach with that leg. Nice and controlled. Let's go back up. So then when you're ready, lower it down, bring that leg back in, and then just like we started, root the hands, shake it out a little bit. Look over the shoulder. And then we're going to scoot on over to the other side. Once again, as you're there, get yourself positioned, comfortable. You can always put an extra roll in your mat so your knees have more cushion. From there, then you'll bring the left leg out. So of course, you can start without your block. See if it feels good for this side. It's always different on one side to the other. So we connect to the center. We're right on top of that knee, such an important part. Then we have that hip forward. We align the hips, then we bring that leg out. And then center. How's it feeling? Maybe that blocks a little better. When you decide to find it, pushing out through a deep breath. Pull the belly in, let's extend and reach. Stretch it out to the side. And you want to feel strong, that's why it's called gait. So even though you're kind of in this skinny little plane, you were to have a little bit of wind there, give you a push side to forward or back, you wouldn't fall. So really guide out from that. Keeping our left hip pushing forward, let's go with it. Push through, let that left arm go down, push it forward, and right arm comes up, and maybe even over. Keep pushing those hips through. Keeping that pushing down on that supported knee. So we want to make sure we didn't feel our foot sliding away from us. Keep that support. With your inhale, wait for it. Reach out strong, still pushing from your hips. Let's guide down. Hand down, then see about lifting and push that hip forward again. We want to stack up, lengthen, and let's try again. Drop, point your toes away, up, check. Are you on top of that knee? Lengthen, pushing through that hip, over, hips forward, shoulders, deep breath. And again, up. Try not to let that hip rotate behind you. Come up and lengthen. And again, lower. When you're back to your center, take your time. Lower the hands down, bring that leg in. and a good shake out. From there, face onto your mat, whichever way is comfortable. You're going to go into it just a child's pose. Just going to give our hips that opportunity to settle there for a second before we move forward. So whether your knees are closer or apart, just sitting back into that, letting the head melt in, letting the arms relax. Just find your breath. With a nice good inhale, start to shift your weight up forward. And then we'll bring the hands just a touch further than that. So remember, fingers spread wide and straight out from those shoulders. So make sure your elbows turn in. Let's keep those shoulders safe as we curl through the toes. Maybe your knees come in first. We've got to tuck our belly up, push the ground away, and let's stretch that out. One of the best poses to get a good stretch into those legs, really feeling the hamstrings and the connection down to the calves, up into our glutes, our back. Feel that breath. Where is it pushing through? Starting to notice your head sagging into that center. Remember, pull the rib cage together and you'll notice that you can line right back up again. When you're ready, bend into those knees, pushing down through the heels. From that space, let's start to walk up. Nice and slow. Take your time, finding your way towards the top of the mat. Let the body melt down when you're there. Give your head a gentle shake out now. We're going to come up halfway. So tuck into the belly, lengthen up, and then nice and slow, lowering down again. Make sure you go all the way, drop your head, and then push through those heels. Press up to the sky, push the hips forward, tuck the belly in, and then bring your hands down. Think of widening your collarbones again. Root into your back with your shoulders. Press your hips slightly forward, deep breath. From there, relax the arms down. When you're ready, spread your toes, soften into your stance. We're going to take a nice big step back. So when you're ready, lift that left foot up and take a nice big step back on your mat. So you have about, 3/4 of your mat taken up. From there, turn that heel inward, so your back foot's on your 45, and then bend your front knee on top. You might want to choose to open up a little more because you want to feel your back hip rotating open and your front hip tucking under. So we feel this nice stretch out from our center here. Shoulders are in a line, so let's reach those arms. Stretch out. Let's look over top of the middle fingers. Deep breath. We can feel the shoulders still going down the back, reaching out. Let's take a double check. If we look down at our toe, can you see your big toe on the inside of your knee? What this will do is make sure that your knee's not going inside, and we're keeping that opened up, and we're staying there with strength, and we're not dumping into our ACLs. So take another deep breath, reach out longer, and just like in our gate pose, we're gonna reach forward, put that elbow down onto your knee. Now again, can we rotate our hips, so our right hip's coming towards the front and our back hip's going behind us. Then bring that left arm up to the ceiling. Take a look. Push your left foot towards the mat. Press. Breathe. Feel the shoulders away from our ears. That front knee pushing wide. Use your next breath. Let's come back up. Keep your knee where it is. Bring your shoulders on top of those hips again. When you're ready, straighten out that front leg.
Relax the arms down. From there, bend into that right knee again. Let's go again. Reach the arms out wide. So we're pushing to the outer edge of that foot as that hip goes out. We're reaching to the outer edge of that leg with that knee. Hips are tucking under, rib cage is in, deep breath. Let's shift forward. So just our shoulders came over that thigh so we could rest our elbow down and take our top arm up to the sky. Deep breath. So just like our hips, our shoulders are doing the same thing. That left shoulder is kind of drawing in, open, so that we can get this space at our chest, just like our hips. If you're interested, put your elbow on the inside of your knee. If you're looking for a little power. There's no more shelf to rest on too. Push those hips deep. Nice, good deep breath. Come on back up. Straighten your front leg when you're ready. But then we're going to turn. So let that hip go forward. Our knee is nice and soft and you can hop up. Give that right leg a good shake. Oh, both legs should have a nice power support. But of course, that front leg is going to be just a touch more than the other one. So let's ground in. Body and breath. So we found the way at the top of our mat once again, rooted in. And then like before, we're going to take the same idea. So nice big step back. So when you're ready, big step back with that right leg. Then from there, make sure that the foot landed on a 45. I'm just going to turn around. So again, 45. So we don't want it straight out. It's a little too hard on the leg. So we're going to pull that in. And then we're going to rotate from the hip, checking forward. Walk it out. Front knee safe. You can see our big toe. Pull. Press it out. Reach those arms to do the same. Deep breath. Can you feel how your leg could be relaxed or could be really strong, pulling back? Let's do one more check of our knee. It's really important we don't let that knee fall inwards. So we really want to make sure we can see just that big toe on the inside of our knee. Pushing out, deep breath, tuck your belly. So while our left hip continues to push forward, we're going to reach over the leg, let the arm mount down, and look up. Let the shoulders come down. So now as we push to the outer edge of that back leg, can you feel your inner thigh coming up towards the bone? Pull that thigh up. Yes, tuck those hips. So nice and controlled. Pull the belly in, come up strong, shoulders on those hips. Maybe straighten the leg for a little break. Lay the arms. Of course, they take a lot of strength in those shoulders. Reaching out. Guide, check. Knees where it's supposed to be. Pushing and guiding through that back leg just the same. So our hips are pressing through. Reach. Elbow comes down, top arm goes up. Let's open those collarbones. Reach out of those arms. Push through your back leg. Looking for more power, put your elbow inside your knee. Can your hips still continue to push forward? And once again, hinge it up. Let the arms relax. The leg. Turn yourself to the front of your mat. Take your time. Shake out those legs a bit. Just connecting. What are we feeling there? Get those shoulders back. During nice strong warrior, I always like to flow. So we're going to do that nice vinyasa flow that we've been kind of hitting on each week or each time. So we're going to ground down into those feet. Get those hips just slightly forward, just so we feel connection to this strength here. Lifting up just as much as we're rooting. Open your palms. Deep breath. Wait for your breath. Inhale as you stretch out of those hips. Push your weight through your heels and your hips as you come down. Really guiding long out of those hamstrings. Let the head root. Tucking with our belly. Keeping again the weight through those heels. Pressing out through those hips. Side up. Take your time. Bend into those knees. Root your hands. Nice and slow. Back into our plank. Make sure did your shoulders go back with those legs. Keep them grounding down. Now, as we come down, we're going to squeeze our knees, lower them together, squeeze our heels, lowering down, squeezing our shoulders as we do, our tush in our shoulders as we reach through, and lower. From there, squeeze those elbows, push through, and right back into that downward dog. Right, get that stretch out again. Did you pull the ribs in or is your head off flat? Pull the ribs in, pushing the ground away. Feeling too much of your shoulders? Notice that you need to still relax your shoulders even though your ribs are in. Let's get that flow one more time. So grounding through our feet. Inhale, shifting forward into your plank. Might need a little more space, take it. And exhale, so squeeze those thighs, squeeze those arms, those shoulders, maybe choosing to go into your upward dog or that low cobra again. Feels so good, opening up and shifting back. Deep breath. We're going to use our hands to walk back into our fold. So tuck with your belly, take your time. Weight goes towards the heels, so you can lift up through those legs, let the head root down. A little shake, it always helps to loosen. Shoulders as well. That breath will tell you when you're ready. Let's come up halfway. Make sure those shoulders did too. And nice and slow. Go to the sky. Push through those heels. Inner thighs reaching up and rooting down. To our hearts. To the ground. Relax the body a little. Roll out through the shoulders. From calm is where balance comes from. So taking the time here at the back of the mat, maybe there's a spot on your mat, little new dots and stuff we could use to focus on our drishti. So we take the time to get our concentration working with the energy with our body. So we ground into those feet, spreading them out, rooting into the mat, tucking with our belly. Let's lift up that left heel, making sure that we felt our weight stay as centered as we could. Find your focus. When you're ready, I like to grab your hips. That way then you notice that hip rises with that leg. So pull your belly in, push down as you lift your knee up. Then let's open that knee. Now, whether you go below or you go above, it doesn't matter. But you want to feel your hips opening here. So making sure whether you're above or you're below, that you're pressing through like we've been doing throughout the whole sequence today. So with that hip pushing, especially that left one, we're going to guide the arms out, extending from our hearts, and then nice and slow, maybe adding a little more. While we're here, can we feel where that weight wants to be within the foot? Can we lengthen up? Don't be so afraid to feel wiggles and to fall even as we add more and more play to that extension. Taking our time where we tend to root down, bringing the knee in a little and ground it down and then shake it out. Make sure you let it go. Sometimes even, especially the ankle, you really notice your ankle wiggles and wobbles and almost hurts after you're balancing. That's very normal. That's why it's so good actually to build strength. If you're someone who's kind of prone to getting your twisted ankles a lot, or you consider to be having weaker joints, balance is so good for our ankles. So let's try the other one. Deep breath. Remember, your roots are the most important part. So as we ground, wide feet, shift without the weight moving, pulling in, pushing as much as we're going to rise. Take your time. Open up. Yeah, again, pressing those hips forward. How then we're opening. That's what we're here for. So you can feel that energy beaming from the body. Maybe even adding the arms to do more so. Maybe even adding more lift. What's showing today? You want to make sure that your supported leg wants to keep pushing in. Again, that's going to help at our head and hips here. keeping that foot pressing into that trunk. It keeps it centered. Don't burn a hole in whatever you're staring at, so relax that gaze a little bit as you start to release the body, releasing into the hips a bit, and again, just shake it out. You roll the ankles. Give yourself permission to be. As you get that root there, let's again root down to the feet. And a comfortable press through the hips. Let's root the shoulders down, deep. With that inhale, start to stretch it up. Push your legs through. Keep pushing back, strong through those hips. And drop the head. Tuck up with the belly, just like the shoulders, reaching up and out. Bend into the knees. And try to go nice and straight. Tucking with our belly, we push out straight into that plank. Up onto your tippy toes. Then squeeze. So we imaginary squeeze our thighs. We squeeze our elbows, our shoulders come in. Lower your feet. Make sure that those heels stay inwards as we draw up. Roll the shoulders. Keep those thighs pretending like you're squeezing them together. You actually are. Lift up through the hips. Shifting back as you're ready. Grounding through those legs. Let's get the advantage here. Pull the ribs in. From there, let's go back to our child's pose. Knees nice and wide. Maybe you like the tucked knees under. That's okay too. Sitting it back. And then just a sneak trick. If you notice that it really does bother you to lay your ankles down flat, or it gives you some sort of cramp anywhere, you can always take a pillow or an extra mat you have rolled up, and you tuck them under the ankles so that your feet don't go so flat. Or if you deal with plantar fasciitis, sometimes laying your feet really flat like that, it's just too much. Ever have any questions, any kind of things like that showing up in your practice, don't give up on that pose. Explore variations. That's what I'm here for. Give me a message sometime. Breathe. With your next inhale, maybe just a little tuck of your chin. Look in as you start to draw up. Just a little round at the back and extend. And we're just going to push the legs out to the side, scooting back towards the bottom. Once you're there, come up onto the center of the mat, and then we're going to lower down. However you get to your back is wonderful. Once you're down onto your back, of course, give yourself all the little wiggles and the jiggles, getting it grounded out. Hips, shoulders. Now you might want your blocks for this, because remember, yoga isn't about how much discomfort can we put up with. It's about easing our way into what we're hoping for. More flexibility, both physically, but also mentally with the way we approach things. So let the feet come together. Let the knees fall away from each other. If you're having one of those days where there's a bit of resistance, why not scoot a block under, supporting the knees. You might be surprised. You only need to leave it there for a breath or two. Maybe it just feels good and it stays. Relax those shoulders. Relax your eyes.
attempt to keep your shoulders grounded just like they are, even as you start to lift the hands and the arms. Try not to move too much. Just let the arms start to drop back. Of course, bringing the arms out from your side a little bit is just as an opening here. Another way you could utilize your blocks if you're finding some resistance and you're not using them at your legs today is you could take your blocks in behind your head, usually one underneath each forearm, and that way then your arms can be back, but they don't go down as far. And then the tendency for the shoulder to crawl towards the ear is a little less, and it still gives you this extra lift at the chest. Let the arms gently, maybe one at a time would be best, to come down to your side. Then use the hands. Help those knees up to the center. Just encourage your feet to go out enough to keep your knees forward. Deep breath. Draw one arm up by the ear and roll yourself gently to the side, and then calmly up to your seat. It's not how you sit. Just take a moment and just let your body come back. The breath. Feel some freedom. Feel that release. And just a little quote to leave with you today. Although forgiveness does not remove your past, it does enlarge in your future. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me today. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Thanks, Christina.
Thank you. Was the audio good, Jim?
Yeah, I think so.
I had a little bit of a problem with it yesterday, but it was right around, I think, a very hot time, around 6 p.m. So I don't know if that's normal. So I'm going to have to look into that. But I hope, I was figuring that maybe at noon here we were going to be doing it.
Yeah, no issues here.
Wonderful. Good. That's my thank you so much.
See you Thursday.
Enjoy your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.